Hi students, welcome to the Ankush Sir classes. Today's topic is characteristics of transmission media. Now I explain you the basic 6 characteristics, we can say that the 6 important characteristics of transmission media in this slide. The next slide shows you the basic characteristics, 6 basic transmission media by using the slide deck PPT. Now the first point is the cost of media, then installation requirement, bandwidth, band uses, attenuation, and the last one is immunity from electromagnetic interference. Now this is the actual important characteristics of transmission media. But before going to discuss these 6 important basic characteristics of the transmission media, we will go for what exactly the transmission media in short and where it is used. So next slide shows you the transmission media where it exists. So this is the diagram, simple diagram I am showing you the transmission media. Here at the bottom side they are given a transmission media. So this is the arrow, it shows this is all about transmission media. So transmission media basically comes under the networking technology topic. In a networking. So transmission media, a medium is nothing but a physical path exists between the sender and receiver. That physical path may be a wired or wireless. Now, here they are showing a transmission media and the protocols also. Now, a transmission media, this diagram shows you the transmission media and physical load. Whenever a sender and receiver is attached in a network, connected in a network, the physical layer of a sender and the physical layer of a receiver is connected through the transmission media. So this is the physical layer of sender and this is the physical layer of receiver, and here is a transmission media. I am written over here cable or air. Means the transmission media may be air, maybe cable, wired, wireless. So here the transmission media, the diagram is shown inside of the transmission media is nothing but a binary pulses in the form of on and off. So basically transmission media is a carrier which carry the signal from sender of physical layer of sender to the physical layer of receiver. So a physical layer, we know that a computer always stored a data in a binary format, in a digital format. So this medium is always transfer that digital data into pulses and it carry through the medium and it send it to the receiver. So here a transmission media is. So I am explaining over here, I am given one point over here. A transmission media through which individual systems are connected in a network are called as a transmission media. As well as electronic signals, they are transmitted from one computer to another, and that electronic signals are nothing but binary pulses, that is on and off. Now this is the basically a transmission media. Now from the next slides we will come back to the 6 basic important characteristics of the transmission. The first one is the cost of media. Now cost of media means whenever we are selecting any media, we have to consider the cost. So it is a network designer work to decide the cost of media, whether we are going to install a wireless media. So depends on that our installation, cost of media will consider. So here I am given while designing a network, the cost of media must be considered. So this is the work of network design. Now, one major factor in purchase decision of any networking component is cost. So just I already told that if I use the wireless technology instead of wired, then it may be a sometime costly. If I use the new technology rather than the old technology, then also the cost of media will be increased. Which type of media you are going to use? For example, if I use the fiber optic cable instead of coaxial cable, yeah, twisted pair cable, then also the cost of media will be increased. As well as which type of devices we are using into that network, that is also that also affect onto the cost of network overall. So here they are given for a new and fast technology, cost is also more. Yes, I already explained this. Decision depends upon applications and standard of resources. So this is actually the first characteristics of cost of media. Now the second characteristics is uh, installation requirement. Now installation requirement is, for example, suppose I want to install a twisted pair cable, yeah, we can say that coaxial cable. Yeah, another type of media is a fiber optic cable. Then these three different cables require the labor skill different. In that, a fiber optic cable required the more skilled workers. So obviously, if I taken a skilled worker to install a media, then that cost of media will be increase. The installation requirement will be more. So some transmission media requires skilled laborers to install. So this increases the cost of network and it may cause certain delay. Obviously, if I take a skilled labor, then depends on the availability of the labor, skilled labor, it may cause certain delay. Before installation, we need to prepare physical layout network. Means directly applying to a practical, it's better to prepare the physical layout. Once you prepare the physical layout, then you will exactly know what will be the cost of your network, as well as what type of, yeah, how many type of resources you are going to use. So that is better for the installation of any network. So this is the installation requirement. Now the third is bandwidth. Now the bandwidth is nothing but a capacity of the medium through which a data can travel. Now for example, if I take an example of highway, then on highway, if the highway is a 6-lane highway, then either side of the lane, three vehicles can go at a time and three vehicles can go come at a time. So total 6 vehicles can travel during a particular time. So in transmission media also, a bandwidth is nothing but to carry the bits per second. So bandwidth is always measured in kbps, या mbps, या gbps. That is kilobits per second, and megabits per second, gigabits per second. So here they are given it is measure of capacity of the medium to transmit the data. Data transmission rate is the number of bits transmitted per second. That is, normal Ethernet network may have bandwidth 10 megabits per second, that is Mbps. Nowadays we are using a gigabit, many of the companies are offering a gigabit networks, gbps networks. It depends on the technology. If you use the latest technology, then obviously that network speed may be higher than the older technology. So bandwidth is nothing but the capacity of the medium to transmit a data per second. So if the bandwidth having the more capacity, so obviously the network speed will be more and your surfing speed also more. Bandwidth of cable depends on the cable length. That is, a short cable length having the maximum capacity than the longer cable. So here they are given the bandwidth is also depends on the length of the cable if I use the wired media. So as the wired length is short, the capacity will be more and the fast. This slide shows you the band uses, that is the fourth characteristics of the transmission media. Now band uses means actually the way of using the transmission media, means how you share a transmission media between the two systems is called as a band uses. So here the bandwidth is a shared so that the maximum usage is obtained. Means actually there are two types of band uses, that is first one is a baseband and the second one is a broadband. Now the first one baseband means whenever we are using a band only for a single channel, no other channel can share that media, that is a dedicated purpose, then we can say that it is a baseband. And the second is broadband, means a single medium can transmit a multiple frequencies, then that channel can say that it is a broadband connection. Now I take an example with over here. Yeah, I just given a diagram over here, that is baseband. Only a single frequency is going from sender to receiver, yeah, from one point to another point. And here the broadband, here for example I shown a three frequencies, but in reality there are many more frequencies. So this transmission media who carries more frequencies at a time, then it is called as a broadband uses. And the transmission media who carry only single frequency at a time, then it is called as a baseband. So here I given a baseband and broadband. So baseband a system that is a single data channel in which the whole bandwidth of transmission media is dedicated to one data channel at a time. And same here I already told that multiple data channels are shared between these. So here the baseband example is LAN and the broadband example is WAN. Now for the next slide I shows you an example, basic example day-to-day life and broadband. See here we can take a railway track. So here they are showing the railway track. So railway track at a time I can pass only single railway, and so that is an example of baseband. That is, if I taken track as a medium, then that medium is shared by only that single train at a time. Now, a broadband, if I take a highway, then here the two-lane highway they are showing. The two-lane highway means at a time the two vehicles can share a media. So this is a multiple uh, vehicles can share the road. So that is a broadband. And here only single train can share a track. So that track is an example of baseband. Now, the next slide shows you the fifth characteristics, that is attenuation. First of all, attenuation means power loss due to distance. Likewise, in day-to-day life also, whenever some person speak, that spoken words can be heard at some distance. Apart from some distance, the voice may be deteriorated. We can say that it may quality may get degraded. At certain moment, it will not. Yeah, the sound will not hear by the persons. So attenuation in transmission media also, whenever we pass a signals through the transmission media, depends on that power of signal, it reach at certain distance, but after certain distance it gets weakened. So here shown power loss due to distance. Attenuation means power loss due to distance. So attenuation is a measure of how much a signal weakens as it travels through a medium. Now, signal is absorbed as it travels through medium and makes the signal weak. Now, repeaters are used to regenerate the signals. Means the thing is, whenever you are using the signal in a transmission media, at certain moment, at certain time, the signal may get weakened. So to make that weakened signal powerful, we are using the repeaters. So repeaters are used to regenerate that signal, yeah, to remake that signal. So it will boost the power of that signal and pass to the sender. You have to pass from one end to another end. Now, because the signals are weakens, because of that, many of the cable manufacturer prints the distance onto the cable. So at a certain distance, after that certain distance, whatever they are printed, is we cannot use that cable. Yeah, you have to use the repeater in between that. For example, for the cable TV network, if I use, yeah, the cable operator use the coaxial cable, that distance is given that 185 meters. Yeah, max to max 500 meters. So beyond that, you have to use the repeater and again you have to connect the cable. So for example, coaxial cable can use max to max 185 meter. Yeah, sometimes it is a 500 meters. So that is called as a attenuation. Now the next slide shows you immunity from electromagnetic interference, that is EMI effect. Many of the cable media affects the EMI. Yeah, EMI is affected on many of the cables. That is, in cable media, twisted pair cable, coaxial cable, and fiber optic cable exist. In that, twisted pair cable is majorly affected by the EMI, that is electromagnetic interference. So, electromagnetic interference is nothing but an extra signal which creates a noise between the transmission media. So here I given electromagnetic interference, that is EMI, that consists of outside electronic noise that distort the signals in media. So outside electromagnetic noise, for example, in a rainy day, because of the lightning effect, sometimes the data gets distorted between the media. So that is also one example of electromagnetic interference onto the cable. Now, because of this electromagnetic interference, that is the outside electromagnetic noise, crosstalk effect generates. Now, what is a crosstalk effect? Crosstalk effect is special kind of interference caused by the adjacent wires. And because of this crosstalk effect, uh, in our home wiring, the wires are twisted with each other. So, crosstalk effect can be minimized by twisting the cables with each other. So, in twisted pair cable, mostly the antenna is used that twisted pair cable for the running the network. So that is always twisted with each other to minimize the crosstalk effect. So because of the crosstalk effect, the significant problem arise in competence. So these all are my 6 basic important characteristics of transmission media. Thank you. Thank you for watching my video. If you like my video, please subscribe the